Hey, and thanks for watching my video. It's really appreciated. I make these videos for you. Anyway, if you enjoy it, please take the time to scroll down and smash that like button, and maybe, if you feel inclined, you could even subscribe. Okay, so with that being said, let's do this. Charlize Theron is a famous actress, producer and model. Known to her friends as Charlie, Charlize is 5'9", yeah, that's pretty tall, huh? And weighs around 134 pounds, with green eyes and blonde hair. Yeah, I know, you can get most of that just from looking at her. According to Celebrity Net Worth, as at the end of 2020, she was worth a very respectable $160 million. Pretty sure that's going to keep the wolves from the door. Charlize Theron was born on August 7th, 1975 in Benoni, South Africa, where her parents had a farm. That's a town on the outskirts of Johannesburg, by the way. Her alcoholic father, Charles Jacobus Theron, worked building roads as well as having a farm, and her mother, Gerda Jacoba Aletta Maritz, worked in the same industry as her husband. Charlize is an only child. Although she has never been married, Charlize has declared herself happy being single and devoting her time to being a mom. However, she has had long-term relationships with Stuart Townsend between 2001 and 2009. They lived together in Los Angeles on Ireland. She also dated actor Sean Penn from 2013 until she ended it in 2015. They were even rumoured to be engaged during that time. Being single has not stopped Charlize from being a committed mom, and she has adopted 2 children. Her eldest, Jackson Theron, was adopted in 2012 and is a transgender girl. Younger daughter August Theron was adopted in 2015. Charlize revealed her eldest child was transgender when she was 7 years old, saying her daughters were born who they are, and exactly where in the world both of them get to find themselves as they grow up and who they want to be is not for me to decide. Theron's main residence, which she purchased in 2003 for around $6.4 million, is in Seaside, Malibu. America's sweetheart tore down the 6,000 square foot home that existed on the property to build an eco-friendly abode powered by solar panels. This is not the only house Charlize has owned in the area, and she also has property in Outpost Estates in Hollywood Hills, which it is rumoured she purchased for her mum. There have been a number of movies that show how much Charlize enjoys cars and speed, and her luxurious car collection demonstrates that with models such as a BMW 7 Series, Lexus RX 400 Hybrid, a Range Rover, a BMW X5, the obligatory Toyota Prius, and an Audi S7. When she was only 15, Charlize and her mother were at home when her alcoholic father returned, was physically abusive to her mother and tried to shoot them both. Her mother got her own gun, shooting and killing her father in self-defense during the incident. Although Charlize is fluent in English, her first language is actually Afrikaans. Charlize won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her performance in Monster in 2003. She also won the Best Actress Golden Globe Award. And now we come to those top 10 movies. There's no doubt that Theron's outstanding beauty has helped her in the movie industry on more than one occasion, but it's her flawless ability as an actress that keeps the money rolling in. In 10th place is one of Charlize's early movies, The Cider House Rules, in which she plays the pregnant Candy alongside Maguire's Homer. It made just over $57 million in the United States, and went on to gross over $88 million worldwide. Charlize was joined by stars including Tobey Maguire, Michael Caine, Paul Rudd and Kieran Culkin, to name but a few. Filmed in Northampton, Massachusetts, with a budget of around $24 million, the movie was directed by Lasse Hallström, produced by Film Colony, and released in the USA on December 12, 1999.
Maybe if you're free, you'd like to come and have dinner at my dad's place? Okay. You haven't seen a lobster yet, have you?
No.
Oh, good.
Homer is an orphan in remote St. Cloud, Maine. Never adopted, he becomes the favourite of orphanage director Dr. Larch, who imparts his full medical knowledge on Homer, who becomes a skilled, albeit unlicensed, physician. But Homer yearns for a self-chosen life outside the orphanage. When Wally and pregnant Candy visit the orphanage, Dr. Larch provides a medically safe, albeit illegal, abortion. Homer leaves with them to work on Wally's family apple farm. At number 9 comes Atomic Blonde, co-starring James McAvoy, John Goodman, Toby Jones, James Faulkner and more. The movie grossed just over $50 million in the United States and went on to reach more than $100 million worldwide. Filmed in Budapest, Hungary, on a budget in the region of $30 million, the movie was directed by David Leitch, produced by Focus Features, and released in the USA on July the 30th, 2017.
Welcome to Berlin. I'm David. Don't shoot! I've got your shoe.
The crown jewel of Her Majesty's Secret Intelligence Service, Agent Lorraine Broughton is equal parts spycraft, sensuality and savagery, willing to deploy any of her skills to stay alive on her impossible mission. Sent alone to Berlin to deliver a priceless dossier out of a destabilised city, she partners with Embedded Station Chief David Percival to navigate her way through the deadliest game of spies. Next, we have what is widely thought to be Charlize's breakout movie, The Devil's Advocate. In this movie, Charlize teams up with the likes of Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, Jeffrey Jones and Judith Ivey. The movie grossed over $60 million at the box office in the USA and went on to surpass $150 million worldwide. With a filming budget of $57 million, the movie was based in Manhattan, New York. It was directed by Taylor Hackford, produced by Warner Brothers, and released on October the 19th, 1997.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I know you've spent all morning listening to Mr. Broigo talk. I know you're hungry. What I need to tell you won't take very long at all. I don't like Alexander Cullen. I don't think he's a nice person. I don't expect you to like him.
Kevin Lomax, a ruthless young Florida attorney who never lost a case, is recruited by the most powerful law firm in the world. In spite of his mother's disagreement, which compares New York City to Babylon, he accepts the offer and the money that comes along with it. But soon, his wife starts feeling homesick as she witnesses devilish apparitions. However, Kevin is sinking in his new cases and pays less and less attention to his wife. His boss and mentor John Milton seems to always know how to overcome every problem, and that just drives Kevin crazy. Next comes one of those ever-present sequel movies, the fantasy adventure The Huntsman: Winter's War. Charlize is joined by a star-studded cast including Chris Hemsworth, Emily Blunt, Jessica Chastain and Nick Frost, to name but a few. In the USA, the box office gross for Winter's War was $48 million, and worldwide it totaled almost $165 million. The movie was filmed on location in Somerset, England, with a budget of $115 million. It was produced by Universal Pictures and released in the USA on April the 24th, 2016. Evil sorceress Queen Ravenna's powers allow her to know that her young sister Freya, whose powers have not yet emerged, is not only involved in an illicit affair with an already elsewhere engaged nobleman, Andrew, but is also pregnant with his child. Sometime after Freya gives birth to a baby girl, she discovers that Andrew not only reneged on his promise of elopement with her, but also murdered their child. In a grief-fueled rage, her broken heart freezes over, and she kills him with her sudden emergence of powers. For the next movie, we have the remake of a 1960s classic, The Italian Job. With a big-name cast list, Charlize stars alongside Donald Sutherland, Mark Wahlberg, Edward Norton and Jason Statham. The movie was filmed in Italy with a budget of around $60 million. It was directed by F. Gary Gray, produced by Paramount Pictures, and released on June 1st, 2003. The Italian Job grossed just over $105 million domestically, and more than $175 million worldwide.
Open your door!
Led by John and Charlie Croker, a team is assembled for one last heist to steal $35 million in gold bars from a heavily guarded safe in Venice, Italy. After successfully pulling off the heist, a team member, Steve, driven by greed and jealousy, arranges to take the gold for himself and eliminate the remaining members of the group. Thinking the team dead, he returns to Los Angeles with the gold. Charlie and the survivors of this betrayal follow Steve to LA to exact revenge against the traitor. At number 5, we have the latest instalment in what has been a long-running franchise, going back to the first movie in 1980. It's Mad Max Fury Road. Directed on location in Namibia by George Miller with a budget of around $150 million, the movie co-starred Tom Hardy, Nicholas Hoult, Zoe Kravitz and Josh Hellman. Safe to say this is perhaps the first mega movie in Theron's list, grossing close to $155 million at the box office in the USA, and more than $375 million worldwide. Mad Max Fury Road was produced by Warner Brothers and released on May 17, 2015. An apocalyptic story set in the furthest reaches of our planet, in a stark desert landscape where humanity is broken and almost everyone is crazily fighting for the necessities of life. Within this world exist two rebels on the run, who just might be able to restore order. There's Max, a man of action and a few words, who seeks peace of mind following the loss of his wife and child in the aftermath of the chaos. And Furiosa, a woman of action who believes her path to survival may be achieved if she can make it across the desert back to her childhood homeland. We've had the sequel, and here's the original, Snow White and the Huntsman, co-starring Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth, Bob Hoskins and Ray Winston. Snow White and the Huntsman was filmed in the wilds of Scotland with a budget of $170 million. Directed by Rupert Sanders, the movie was produced by Roth Films and released on June 3, 2012. The box office revenue reached $155 million domestically and topped $395 million worldwide.
Here, no!
Snow White, imprisoned daughter of the late king, escapes just as the magic mirror declares her the source of the evil queen's immortality. The queen sends her men, led by a local huntsman, to bring her back. But upon her capture, the Huntsman finds he's being played and turns against the Queen's men, saving Snow White in the process. Meanwhile, Snow's childhood friend William learns that she is alive and sets off to save her. The number 3 position is a kind of prequel to the Alien franchise, whose original script goes back to the early 2000s. It's Prometheus, with the cast including Michael Fassbender, Idris Elba, Noomi Rapace and Logan Marshall Green. The movie was directed by the great Ridley Scott, on location in Iceland, with a budget of $130 million. It was produced by 20th Century Fox and released in the USA on June 10, 2012, grossing more than $125 million domestically, and topping $400 million worldwide.
How long?
2 years, 4 months, 18 days, 36 hours, 15 minutes.
Any casualties?
Casualties, Mom?
Has anyone died?
No, Mom. Everyone's fine.
Well, then wake him up.
Following a faint trail of clues, the accomplished archaeologist Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and her partner Charlie Holloway, along with a 17-man crew, embark on an ambitious deep space scientific expedition. Aboard the revolutionary space exploration starship, USCSS Prometheus, team sets foot on the rocky terrain of the desolate exomoon LV-223 in 2093 to investigate the existence of the superior extraterrestrial species known as the Engineers. But there, inside a mysterious complex structure of cavernous dark chambers and an intricate underground system of tunnels, more enigmas await. At number 2, we have the Will Smith action anti-hero movie, Hancock. Charlize appears, not surprisingly, alongside Will Smith, on-screen husband Jason Bateman, J-Head, Johnny Galecki and others. Directed in Los Angeles, California by Peter Berg with a budget of $150 million, the movie was produced by Amblin Entertainment and released on July 2nd, 2008. In the USA, the movie managed to gross almost $230 million, with the worldwide figure reaching almost $630 million.
What? It's a little tight. What you got?
Bank job. Got at least 8 hostages, 4 bad guys. I got an officer pinned down and we can't get to her.
The powerful superhero John Hancock has become a joke because of his alcoholism and his clumsiness. He has also become the most hated man in Los Angeles. Though he has saved many lives, he's also destroyed a lot of property, costing the city millions every time he goes into action. When he saves the life of PR expert Ray Embry from an oncoming train, the executive is thankful and believes he can restore Hancock's image as a true superhero. He brings the anti-hero home for dinner and introduces him to his son Aaron, a big fan, and to his wife Mary. But for some mysterious reason, Mary doesn't want Hancock anywhere near her or her family. And finally, the number 1 slot is held by the 8th installment in what is possibly one of the most famous franchises in Hollywood. Fast and Furious 8, The Fate of the Furious. Filmed in Cleveland, Ohio, with a budget of $250 million, the movie was directed by F. Gary Gray and co-stars Van Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Michelle Rodriguez, Jason Statham, amongst others. The Fate of the Furious was produced by Universal Pictures and was released on April 16th, 2017. Charlize Theron's top-grossing movie made over $225 million in the USA and a whopping $1.2 billion worldwide. Well worthy of the number 1 spot, don't you think?
One thing I can guarantee, no one's ready for this.
She's the very definition of high-tech terrorism.
There's thousands of cars in this city, and now they're all mine.
Now I know what it feels like to be every cop ever chasing us.
Now that Dominic Toretto and Letty Ortiz are on their honeymoon, and Brian and Mia have retired from the game, and the rest of the crew have been exonerated, the globetrotting team has found a semblance of a normal life. But when a mysterious woman seduces Dom into the world of crime he can't seem to escape, and a betrayal of those closest to him, they will face trials that will test them as never before. From the shores of Cuba and the streets of New York City to the icy plains of the Arctic Barents Sea, the elite force will crisscross the globe to stop an anarchist from unleashing chaos on the world stage. Now remember, these are Charlize's top grossing movies. Doesn't mean they are her best. That's a matter of opinion, of course. In truth, and I'm sure you'll agree, there are maybe some others that should have been up there. Let me know in the comments if there are any Charlize Theron movies that you love that were not in her top 10.